Russ, so good to see you. We are getting back to basics today. What is IRMAA and how does it affect what you will pay for Medicare Part B? If the Social Security Administration considers you a high income beneficiary, you will pay a surcharge known as the Income Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. And Russ, how high is high income?
Well, especially for single people, it really isn't that high. It's
Yeah.
109,000, at which time if you go a dollar over 109,000 of gross income, doesn't even count deductions, then what happens is your Medicare premiums start to get increased.
Mhm.
It's not that for couples, it's more like 218,000, but it can rapidly escalate so that if your income's up at around $150,000 for a individual or $300,000 for a couple, it can be $406 a month. That's double sort of the base rate
Right.
times two in a couple. It can really add up, and your required minimum distributions very often are the thing that push people's incomes up in retirement. So
Right.
it is kind of a circular problem that we'll continue to talk about, Aaron.
Well, and I think a lot of people don't realize that IRMAA is a cliff too. $1 too much, and you're paying a completely different premium.
Exactly, right. And I've had people just the problem it can be is if you think you've sort of tried to keep yourself on track with IRMAA and your income. A lot of people still have some old-fashioned mutual funds laying around in their portfolios, their after-tax portfolios, and those things throw off capital gains distributions at like December 15th of each year.
Mhm.
And so you may think you're just fine, and then your capital gains distribution throws you $1 over. I tell you the fact that can occur, and the fact that the increased IRMAA is Medicare premiums are subtracted from your Social Security check. Oh, I'll tell you, it makes people's blood boil.
And Russ, I think a lot of people who are watching notice like your 2026 IRMAA based on your 2024 income. That's known as the 2-year look back. So without proper planning, you may have to pay IRMAA because of a one-time financial event that happened 2 years ago. Walk me through some of those financial events that catch people off guard.
Well, it could be like the sale of a house and a big gain, the sale of another property. Pretty often people have some peak earnings years right before they retire. And, the good news is that you can at least one time try to appeal IRMAA and say, hey, this was a one-time event. And believe it or not, they're actually pretty accepting of those kinds of excuses. But I think the most important part of IRMAA and what gets people the most is if you have $1 million, million and a half, 2 million in IRAs, then almost by definition, you're going to have one of these IRMAA problems because your required minimum distributions are going to kick up your income and force you over those thresholds.
Right. I'm so glad you brought that up because we do want to talk through 3 strategies to reduce your IRMAA. 2 of them very related to RMDs. Let's start with Roth conversions. Roth accounts have no RMDs.
That is correct, and they grow tax-free, and you can
Yep.
leave them tax-free to your kids, and that can grow in their hands for 10 years. So, and the idea of Roth conversions is voluntarily moving money from IRA to Roth and paying the taxes. For folks with kids, or the issue is that if you've tried to become well informed on this issue, or even if you haven't, there is just a lot of just bad and conflicting and vague advice out there on whether or not you should be doing Roth conversions, whether it matters which, am I too old? I hear these questions all the time.
Right.
And the bottom line is, especially for most people with kids, then they'd rather that their kids get their money than the government, right? It pays to look very seriously at Roth conversions,
Right.
but it has to be done with the right analytical tool. It's not a figure in the air thing like, oh, I should do a Roth conversion. It's more like, let's look at the hard math between what if I do nothing? What happens to my RMD, my IRMAA
Right.
versus doing something, playing offense, if you will. And in many, many cases, especially if you have kids, especially if you have parts of your IRA, you know you're not going to spend, you want to take a close look at that.
Right. Also, another strategy, qualified charitable distributions. So if you're over 70 and a half, then you can give those RMDs to charity. I love this strategy.
It is a great strategy, and a lot of the people that we know use it. I mean, the notion of QCDs is once your required minimum distributions start at age 73, and it's going to age 75 for some people, that RMD can be given, or some portion of it, whatever you want, can be given directly to charities. Basically, if your money's sitting at a Fidelity, for example, Fidelity can actually cut a check to the charity. And what that means is that quote unquote income, let's say it was $30,000 that you directed to the charity, it's like as if that income never occurred, as opposed to having the 30 grand boost up your income and then try to take deductions for it. Sometimes people get limited on deductions. So it is a very nice way to fund charitable activity while redirecting things to your favorite charity.
Yeah, satisfying those RMDs. That's a great one. And then last, we have health savings accounts, which are uniquely triple tax advantaged.
Absolutely. So contributing to HSAs, doing it with pre-tax money. And so when you spend that money, that under the rules for these plans, you can actually spend money on medical expenses, and it's a pretty broad term. Medical expenses can include like fancy sunglasses, right? And so, it is certainly part of the set of tools to manage RMDs.
Well, I really value talking this through with you, Russ, because it's apparent, IRMAA takes a lot of people by surprise, but with a little bit of proactive planning, you can plan for it, accommodate it, make sure that you aren't surprised. So if somebody would like to talk through these strategies with you, what's the best way to reach you?
Aaron, folks can reach out to us at our website, which is hackmanwealth.com. Again, that's hackmanwealth.com, or give us a call at 866-506-1713.
Great. Russ, thanks for your time today.
Thank you.